Break the chains of your past. Welcome to your triumphant recovery. This is Wagz Creations.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Addiction and Recovery by Wagz Creations. This episode is going to be a little different. I'm going to get kind of vulnerable with you guys. This last week has been a really crazy week. It was an amazing week in the beginning. You know, I landed a job with AT&T Business as a sales rep, and it's an amazing job. You know, the potential there to make money is outstanding, you know, but it does take a lot of work and it is very demanding. You know, I went from not working at all to working 13 and a half hour days, and it's actually more like 16 for me because it takes me about 3 hours to get there on bus to and from. So right away, it was very demanding. So it was taking a lot out of me, you know, and I had recently kind of did what you're really not supposed to do, you know, in early recovery, and I kind of got into a relationship with somebody. You know, I wasn't planning on it, you know, I wasn't something that I was seeking, you know. It just kind of happened. This person was a part of a group that I was also a part of, and we just kind of formed a bond, you know, and even then I was still real hesitant, you know, but the person said a lot of nice things and everything, and you know, and eventually I fell for this person, you know, and things were great. So I thought, you know, yeah, we didn't spend a whole lot of time on the phone together, but we would at night because it's really the only time we both had free time. We would stay on the phone and leave the phone on video chat, you know, overnight and stuff. And it was kind of fun. I mean, it seems a little excessive, but you know, it was kind of our thing, you know, but I felt it was harmless. You know, I didn't really see anything wrong with it and stuff. And well, long story short, this last weekend, this person decided to pull back. That was a suggestion that their sponsor had made, which is okay. You know, I have to respect that. But this is exactly why I don't allow myself to get close to people, though. You know, it's just hard because, I mean, we're a million miles apart, you know, and I understand codependency and all that kind of stuff. I get all that. But I don't know, maybe I'm just a hopeless romantic, you know. I feel like love supersedes all. That's always just been mine, and I could be just unrealistic with that. I don't know, you know, but it's just something I've always kind of believed in, you know, and because I believe in things like that, and I have a big heart, you know, I tend to get hurt a lot, you know, so I tend to be very careful, and this is a big reason why I haven't been in a relationship for a while. It's because of that, you know, and with that being said, you know, this person said they need to just take a step back, you know, a suggestion from their sponsor, which, like I said, I understand that. I can respect that. But it really fucked me up. I didn't see it coming. Again, because like I said, I felt like I was kind of hesitant to kind of get into this relationship, you know, because of these reasons, you know, and I ended up falling for this person, you know, and I guess I'm more mad at myself for knowing better, you know, but it felt right, you know, and so I didn't want to deny those feelings, and maybe I should have, I guess. I don't know, you know, I don't know what the right answer is there, even if there is a right answer, but you know, I do have to respect this person's decision, but it fucked me up, man. And then it was just like a snowball effect of things, you know. I don't have insurance right now. I haven't had insurance for a while, so I'm trying to get my insurance, and it's going to be expensive for me to get, so I don't even know if I can afford the insurance. So that means that I'm not going to have a place to stay on the first. I'm still working that out. I don't know that for sure, but that's kind of the news I got this morning, along with, you know, the other news that this person wanted to pull back. And I was at work when it happened, and man, I did not handle it well at all. You know, I found myself getting really emotional when I was at work, and so I had to get out of the car, and I ended up walking away from work and leaving. And I'm talking to my boss. Hopefully I didn't lose my job. I'm also hoping to get a sale right now. So hopefully if I close that sale, that'll help ease the situation, I'm hoping. But Yeah, it was just like when it rains, it pours, and it's just crazy because I was sharing this in a meeting last week about how my life was going so well, and I was waiting for that ball to drop. And boy, did it drop. It's like I spoke it into existence, and it just sucks, man. Like, I'm not doing well at all right now. Um, right now is the first moment I've had where I've kind of had to pull it together, and it's just really hard, and this person wants to wait 6 months. They're on like a 6 month dating ban, and then we can resume after that. But I just don't understand it. I mean, I understand that she wants to protect recovery, but I didn't see what was wrong with what we were doing. So, I mean, and that's on me, I guess, but
Thank
I
you for
just,
watching my podcast. If you can please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss new episodes. This is my passion project. Thank you for watching.
but I just, right now, I'm not capable of taking a step back like that and then just going about business like it's like nothing happened, and that's just hard for me. Like I said, I can't make sense of it. Um, I don't know if it's just because I've been too traumatized in the past with relationships, with how I've been hurt, but it's a point where, like, even if that was a situation and I was okay with that, I would have a hard time trusting myself getting close to that person again in fear of getting hurt. It's unfortunate, but I'm just being honest that I can't get past that, and it sucks because I do care about this person a lot, but if I'm being honest with myself, I can't. That's always gonna be in the back of my mind, and it really messed things up. It's not her fault, I get it. It's just a fucked up situation, and it sucks. But with all that being said, you know, it was the first time that I actually felt like using. I honestly, I didn't even really want to live, to be honest with you, let alone, also use drugs. But I had those thoughts racing through my mind that maybe I'll just go get some fentanyl and smoke it and hopefully go to sleep and not wake up. That's terrible. Did I act on it? No. But I really, really thought about it. Really did. And was considering it. And that's scary, you know. But I didn't, you know. I really don't want to use. I know that's not the answer. That's not going to get me anywhere. Um, but it's to the point where I just want to give up, you know. And I know that sounds, from outside looking in, it sounds stupid and like, oh, you can get past this and this and that. And it's hard. I know I can, but it's just like, I feel like no matter what, even if I'm doing everything right that I think is right, and working on all the things that I do, like I said, and no matter what, for some reason, I'm not expecting things to work out perfectly. That would be crazy. That's unrealistic. But I just have a hard time wrapping my head around the things that happened, I guess. I don't know how to explain that any better, but it just sucks to work so hard to watch it. I feel like it's all just falling apart around you, and so that's just kind of where I'm at today. Not in a good space, not in a good place right now. I mean, it's to the point where I don't even want to be a part of Narcotics Anonymous anymore, which is the program that saved my life. That's crazy. I mean, eventually I might go back to Narcotics Anonymous, obviously. I want to, but for now, everything reminds me of that person, and I know there's a chance that I'll see that person or other people that know each other, it sucks that I'm allowing it to affect me this much, but it is. And it sucks, and I'm going to try to my best to get through it, but I wanted to share this with you guys to show you that recovery is not perfect. There are going to be things that happen. So even though I know a lot of times I'm on here sharing all my positive things and all the great things that are happening in my life, I want to get a chance to come on here and speak when things aren't going great. I'm still sober though. I'm like 13 days shy of being 6 months. And I really don't want to mess that up. I know I've come so far. I don't want to ruin that. But so I'm really just trying to take a moment and be in the moment for right now. But it is so hard, you know. That's why I'm getting on here and talking, because this helps me. It's a part of my process of kind of compartmentalizing everything, you know. And so yeah, that's why I do a lot of this most of the time. And a lot of times lately in my life, I've had nothing but good things to talk about. But you know, it seems like when it happens in my life, it happens in two or threes, and man, it definitely came and it hit me hard, you know. So I'm struggling with that. I'm going to continue to try to work my program to the best of my abilities right now, but I'm not going to lie, I had a fuck it moment and just almost threw everything in the air, you know, and I still feel that way, but I'm fighting it, you know, because I do like the person I am today. I'm imperfectly perfect, or however you want to say that, but, or perfectly imperfect, or however they say it, but I'm struggling right now, you know. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. I'm hoping I close this sale out. I haven't heard back from my boss. I sent her a long message, so hopefully things go well. So for those of you out there watching this, pray for me. You know, I'm gonna keep pushing. I always do. Sorry for that noise. I gotta change the battery in my smoke alarm. But anyways, I'll end with that, guys. Hopefully I'll see you next week. You guys go out there and kill it. I know I'm going to. Try anyways. Wags out.
Don't be afraid to call for help at 1-800-662-HELP.